From South Carolina Public Radio, this is the South Carolina Lede. I'm your host, Gavin Jackson, and this episode was recorded on July 14th, 2025 from South Carolina Public Radio Studios here in Columbia. On this episode of The Lede, another Republican gubernatorial candidate enters the race. Will Governor Henry McMaster endorse? Meanwhile, another gubernatorial contender is facing legal issues over allegedly diverting $2 million from his business partner. We'll give you the details in a moment. Senator Lindsey Graham was back on Meet the Press talking about Ukraine ahead of the UN Secretary General's visit to Washington. And Graham's campaign is also out with its first TV ad. The first TV ad of anyone in this cycle. And the Russ McKinney brings us the latest on energy in the state. We need you to bring energy to our podcast. In order for you to do that, you have to call 803-563-7169. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to do. And we would love to hear from you, lead listener out there. I know you're driving. Maybe you're brushing your teeth and you're saying this would be a good time for me to call. And you say, Siri, call Lead. 803-563-7169. Did it work? Is it calling? If it's calling, you got to go ahead and leave a message. Sorry. Let's look at what's on tap this week. The governor and other officials are attending a groundbreaking for the new West Gate Concourse at the Charleston International Airport on Monday. This will add 5 new gates and concessions to meet the growing demands of the airport. There's also that new parking deck going up down there in Charleston. A lot going on at CHS. Up in Congress in D.C., they are still in session this week as lawmakers continue their march toward August recess. And looking at the economic calendar, we'll have June inflation numbers on Tuesday. Now, with the start of another week, we have another political announcement.
Wow.
That's right. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette will officially enter the 2026 gubernatorial race this evening, Monday evening in Greenville. That's right. She's a nearby resident of Travelers Rest. So another upstate contender will enter the race. Now, she will join an ever-growing field of candidates and could possibly get an endorsement from her boss, Governor Henry McMaster. Now, I stress possibly because McMaster told the Wall Street Journal on Friday that he may endorse in the primary, which is a rare move. So him just saying maybe is a big one. But remember, McMaster picked Evette, an upstate businesswoman, out of obscurity as his running mate in 2018, and they stuck together for their re-election bid in 2024. The man has been involved in South Carolina Republican politics for decades, and while collaboration and compromise may be evil words in politics, they have served McMaster's administration well, as it has advanced many of its legislative priorities through such work in the State House. There's no doubt that's something that Evette will play up on the trail. We'll have that full Evette wrap for you in Saturday's podcast. Now, Evette will be joining a field that includes Attorney General Alan Wilson and Spartanburg Senator Josh Kimbrell, who is in some legal hot water following a civil lawsuit that was lodged against him days ago by his business partner, who claims Kimbrell, his wife Lilia, and banker Thomas Blake Whitaker diverted some $2 million away from his partner Frank Rogers over 2.5 years. Rogers and Kimbrell co-own Exodus Aircraft. It's a private air charter company. Kimbrell said in a statement to the state newspaper, quote, "We're witnessing a regrettable, uncorroborated case of lawfare from a disgruntled, absent business partner with no function or daily involvement in our operations. I'm confident that the facts will come to light, leading to full vindication." And just a note, Rogers made those claims in a sworn affidavit, so we'll see how this plays out. Moving on, President Donald Trump met with Secretary General of NATO Mark Rutte on Monday as part of a 2-day visit that will also include meetings with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, as well as dinner Monday night with Senator Lindsey Graham and Connecticut Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal, among others. So, a little flex there from Senator Graham. The two of them, Graham and Blumenthal, were both on CBS's Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan, talking about their bill that would, if passed into law, apply a 500% tariff on imports from any country buying Russian uranium, gas, and oil. Here's Graham responding to Brennan, asking about the Ukrainian need for more weapons amid a defense intelligence assessment that shows Russia will have a 7-to-1 firepower superiority by winter.
The idea of America selling weapons to help Ukraine is very much in play. We've given Ukraine a lot. We've given them money. We've given them military aid. We now have a minerals agreement with Ukraine that's worth trillions of dollars. So I don't want to get ahead of the president, but stay tuned about seized assets. The Europeans want to limit the interest on the assets to go to Ukraine. Secretary Bessent wants to go further. Stay tuned about a plan to go after the seized assets more aggressively. Stay tuned for a plan where America will begin to sell to our European allies tremendous amount of weapons that can benefit Ukraine. Putin has calculated that we would get tired and Europe would get weary. He made a huge mistake. NATO is bigger and stronger, and we're more committed than ever to make sure he does not take Ukraine by force. So Congress is on the verge of passing the most consequential sanction package in the history of the country. It will give President Trump tools he doesn't have today, a literal sledgehammer. And the big offender here is China, India, and Brazil. India buys oil from Russia cheap and resells it. That's despicable. I've talked to President Trump. He said last week it's time to move. He's tried to entice Putin to the table, but my goal is to end this war, and the only way you're going to end this war is to get people who prop up Putin, make them choose between the American economy and helping Putin, and you can only have one negotiator, and that's going to be President Trump with maximum flexibility to end this war. China, India, and Brazil, you're about to get hurt big time if you keep helping Putin.
But, Senator, respectfully, the president's rhetoric has changed this week on Russia. He is making clear his patience is very thin. But he's got right now at his fingertips just short of $4 billion in presidential drawdown authority. He doesn't need to ask Congress. He doesn't need to ask the Europeans for that money. He's got it if he wants to tap it. Wouldn't it be a stronger sign if he just sent those weapons or surged them?
Well, the $4 billion is not nearly enough. I expect him to exercise that drawdown authority. But the game regarding Putin's invasion of Russia is about to change. I expect in the coming days you will see weapons flowing at a record level to help Ukraine defend themselves. I expect in the coming days that there will be tariffs and sanctions available to President Trump he's never had before. I expect in the coming days more support from Europe regarding their efforts to help Ukraine. Putin made a miscalculation here. For 6 months, President Trump tried to entice Putin to the table. The attacks have gone up, not down. One of the biggest miscalculations Putin has made is to play Trump. And you just watch. In the coming days and weeks, there's going to be a massive effort to get Putin to the table.
Graham, they're talking about an announcement on Monday, and Reuters reported early Monday that Trump will be sending Patriot missiles to Ukraine. Now, Trump did not give a number of Patriots he plans to send to Ukraine, but he said that the United States would be reimbursed for their costs by the European Union. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has asked for more defensive capabilities to fend off a daily barrage of missile and drone attacks from Russia. And Trump told reporters at Joint Base Andrews, quote, "We will send them Patriots, which they desperately need because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then bombs everybody in the evening. But there's a little bit of a problem there. I don't like it," quote. Speaking of Graham, the ad wars are here. Well, just one ad so far. That's right, Senator Graham's campaign isn't messing around with flexing his relationship to President Donald Trump, a key alliance that is critical to Graham's political survival, especially as more people enter the race, including former Lieutenant Governor Andre Bauer, who was attempting to be more MAGA than Graham. The new 30-second television ad entitled Golden Age began airing this past weekend and is backed by a significant statewide cable and streaming buy, so sounds expensive. Take a listen to the ad.
The golden age of America is upon us. We have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment in American history, and we delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. I want to thank every member of the House and Senate who worked to get this bill on my desk, and Senate Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. What a good man he is. He's a great patriot.
I'm Lindsey Graham, and I approve this message.
Thank you, Lindsey.
Graham campaign manager Mark Knoop said in a statement that, quote, as chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, Senator Graham played a pivotal role in getting the one big, beautiful bill to the president's desk on Independence Day. With President Trump's signature and Senator Graham at his side, this legislation secures our border, delivers tax and spending cuts, and puts to rest Democrats and a few wayward Republicans who tried to stand in the way of this historic win. Now, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that this mega bill will add $3.3 trillion to the deficit over the next decade.
Mega.
And some estimates, including interest, project that it could be as high as $6 trillion. So it is a big bill. Mega. Bringing it back to South Carolina, the Russ McKinney brings us this report on energy. That's right, we continue our look at energy as state leaders and electric utility executives say South Carolina is headed toward a, quote, nuclear renaissance, as both try to keep up with the state's growing population and needs. Here's Russ.
In Washington and Columbia, there's lots of talk these days about a so-called nuclear renaissance, a potential revival of the nuclear power industry. Last year, Georgia Power brought 2 new reactors online at a site near Augusta. They were the first new units built in this country in over 30 years. Safety concerns and the exorbitant cost to construct reactors has chilled the industry for decades. But with the growing demand for electricity fueled by population growth and the power demands of AI systems, the reliability of nuclear power and the fact that it's the largest source of clean power in the country is leading to its anticipated comeback. At a recent ceremonial bill signing for the state's new energy bill, Governor Henry McMaster, a fan of NASCAR's Darlington 500 race, compared South Carolina's position on new nuclear power as a car in the pole position at the start of the race.
This is the green flag going down, the motor's going way up, and ladies and gentlemen, South Carolina is in the lead in the country for a renaissance of nuclear power.
The state's newly enacted energy law states that it is now the policy of South Carolina to advance the development of more nuclear energy. The initial focus of McMaster and other state leaders is an attempt to bring the failed V.C. Summer nuclear project back to life. State-owned utility Santee Cooper and Dominion Energy planned to build 2 new reactors at the site in Fairfield County, but the project collapsed in 2017, leaving the 2 utilities with a $9 billion debt. Santee Cooper maintains control of the partially built facilities, and with many large private entities across the country now expressing interest in getting into the generation business for very large users, it's issued an RFP to gauge interest for a possible buyer. Santee Cooper CEO Jimmy Staten says that over 50 groups or consortiums have expressed interest.
The folks that have participated are very quality organizations, and so that has to give us a little bit of optimism, right? And so I feel pretty good. I never want to say that something this massive is a given, because I would never say that.
Staten says Santee Cooper hopes to come up with a handful of interested parties to consider by late summer. State Senator Tom Davis, a Beaufort Republican, has advocated privatizing the project. Davis says such a move could prove beneficial to Santee Cooper and Dominion ratepayers who continue to pay for the failed project.
Not only are we generating power, over 2,000 megawatts of clean power, but you can get that sunk cost off of the ratepayers for Dominion and Santee Cooper and lower their rates.
The 2 Westinghouse-designed reactors at the V.C. Summer site are less than 50% complete, and the original licenses from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission have been canceled. Longtime nuclear watchdog Tom Clements of Columbia says the recent easing of licensing requirements by federal and state regulators to encourage nuclear expansion is concerning.
Now, I have no doubt that the NRC is going to grease the skids and try to make them get a new license much easier than if they had to start from scratch with nothing out at the site. But that concerns me because I think they have to jump through the same hoops for safety reasons to show the public that the project would be safe.
There are currently 7 commercial nuclear reactors in South Carolina, 6 operated by Duke Energy and 1 by Dominion. In a recent interview, Duke Energy South Carolina President Tim Pearson said additional nuclear generation is, quote, in our future. Duke has already received an NRC license for the future construction of a new nuclear station in Cherokee County along the Broad River.
That's some mega reporting there from the Russ McKinney.
Mega.
Thank you, sir. You can find that report and more on southcarolinapublicradio.org. Mega.
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 Welcome to the wind down section, our little break from the news. We're glad you're here along with A.T. Shire lead podcast producer. Hello, good sir.
Hello, good
A tip
to
of the
see you.
hat to you.
Oh, thank you so much. right back at you. Gavin, I'm glad you're here today. I'm glad I get to share this with the people.
Oh.
Is that after 38 years on this earth, numerous tries, a million tries, I'd say, my whole life, and where are my millennials at? Where are my 80s,
Hey, where are
90s
my millennials
kids?
at?
For the first time ever, it happened at 1 a.m. on an iPad. I saw a magic eye for the first time.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I saw it. I've been trying forever. I finally saw it. It was a beautiful butterfly.
What was the trick? How does it work? I thought it was just a lie and everyone else got to see it.
I also, like you, thought that. You have to hold it close to your face and slowly move it out while unfocusing your eyes, and then it just pops right out. Sucker pops out, dude.
That's what they've always said, but it has never worked. But maybe nowadays I feel like my eyes are they have the ability to become more unfocused. I think they're aging.
Yeah,
in a good way. At
That's
39. At 39 years, they're aging.
That's one way to say it.
So I just kind of completely just unfocused my eyes.
It worked. I
on
could
the
not
iPad.
believe it.
And then I was wondering if this could be chalked up to my one of my deficiencies, my slight color
blindness. Yeah, I was wondering. I'll have to pull it up and see if you can see it. We'll do it for socials. Okay. No, I couldn't believe it. But Gavin, this is very little news compared to your major adult good and bad news of buying the car.
The Subaru Outback, right? We've had a couple days with the Subaru.
Very specifically, the Subaru Outback Limited. Okay. Limited.
The steering wheel is heated because I just need that option.
Yeah.
I will say it made sense in Iowa, but it's not going to make much sense out here in South Carolina.
Honestly, some morning you're going to heat that steering wheel.
Sure.
Good for you.
I will say the two things I needed to have were heated front seats and all-wheel drive, and that's what I wanted.
So you went from a Jetta 2016
Passat.
2016 Passat.
2017 Passat.
2017 Passat to a 2022 Subaru Limited Outback.
Correct.
Okay. So, and the effects are already taking hold.
Yes.
What did you tell me you did this weekend?
I haven't been driving at all. It's driving me.
But
okay, the adaptive cruise control.
As a runoff of owning a Subaru this weekend,
it drove me to REI.
You went to REI,
so I had to go buy some stuff at REI. You know, we're going to be hiking. Me and my brother, and my sister-in-law will be hiking the Cascades.
Do you hear this?
This was already happening before the transmission issues befell me.
This is the Subaru
it's hand in glove. It's hand in glove.
This is the Subaru.
This is the must.
Who am I talking to right now?
But anyway, so I went to REI. I got a pack.
Yeah.
Had to get a pack.
A rucksack.
I'm rucking. But it's actually really convenient because we're going to be carrying a lot of stuff.
Listen to the Subaru talking, folks.
Well, we're going to be doing a lot of hiking.
No,
so
it's
I need
actually
a lot of
really
water.
convenient.
It's actually really cool. Actually, when you look at the features, it prices out.
The boots are waterproof. Yeah.
No, the Sportivas are coming with me. That was the first one, right? When I got the boots for Iowa and New Hampshire. And it's just been building slowly.
We just didn't know what we were looking at. We didn't know what we were looking at.
It just starts. But then I also went hiking at Sesquicentennial Park, Sesqui to friends.
Yeah.
And so I need to get a park pass because there's really no elevation, obviously, in Columbia. So I'm doing some like road walking and road warrior walking. I'm not carrying the pack with me.
You got a weighted vest, bro?
No, I'm not doing that. But I do have a bulletproof vest that I cleaned out of the Passat. And I'm like, maybe I can wear that. It's just as heavy.
The stuff that came out of the Passat.
So much stuff.
The machetes, the weighted vests.
Bulletproof vest.
Gavin has wielded a machete.
I've only once worn that bulletproof vest on assignment.
I think you're really speaking over the wielding the machete at me in traffic.
Machete.
Yeah. Very cool stuff. Very sick stuff, folks.
But yeah, so it's I've just been leaning into it. The tinted windows, I'll say the front tinted windows and all tinted windows now have been a game changer because I've just never had them before with the Passat, so it's not roasting as much. And I know some people are like, oh, you need the AC seats. I think you have them, right?
AC cooled seats are pretty awesome.
I thought that would have been an option, but I don't. I prefer
What does limited even mean now?
I don't know. I guess
what
not,
does that even mean?
There's rear
Yeah,
heated
I see
seats.
the limits.
No, I know. I get it.
No, I
get
see
it.
the limits. All right.
Now I have like the power lift gate. Like, I couldn't open my trunk before. Like that was such an ordeal.
It's actually
one more thing to break.
It's super annoying in that when it touches anything, it'll keep opening back up instead of closing. We're back. When you did it, you just be like, oh, I'm just going to slam it harder. Yeah. You know, it's fine.
But yeah, the Subaru's really driving me. It's been enjoyable. It's been life-changing in some ways. But yeah, this is, I think, a different phase of my life. I think.
This
the
is
outdoors phase.
This is a demarcation line.
I already have like my tent and my sleeping bag accoutrement in the trunk. Like,
people, just get your fill of Gavin because this is it. He's going off the grid. He's going off the grid.
So I haven't really been paying attention to the news, guys.
Composting. He's going to have a composting toilet. Okay, like
everything's. I mean, I'm really trying to reduce a lot of my footprint.
This was all the Subaru coming. We just didn't know.
I didn't know.
No.
And now I
you
do.
find out about yourself. Yep, that's how it is. If any of you have any of these realizations, please call us.
Is this like a precursor to my like midlife crisis?
I think we've passed it. Just like you find out that you had a heart attack later. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. You're good. You're through it. You're clear.
Okay.
You're clear.
Well, look. All right. Well, that's exciting.
The transmission,
I didn't even know.
The transmission falling out was the end of it.
Was that a metaphor?
It has to be. Yeah. If anyone analyzes dreams out there, please call in.
I need someone to decipher all this for me,
yeah,
please.
Thank you very much. Butt Dial Bob, I know you've called. I'm trying to get Gavin to try what you're asking about. That's the only reason we haven't used your call. I love you very much, okay?
It's a lot of coercion.
Gavin, do the outro, please.
That's it, folks. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Give us a shout, 803-563-7169. We'd love to hear from you guys. And you can always show us your appreciation by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts. And you can stay up to date with the latest news on scetv.org and southcarolinapublicradio.org. And don't forget to support your local newspapers. The South Carolina Lede is a production of South Carolina Public Radio. Where can we even find pork roll? Anywhere, I guess?
Publix.
Our producer is A.T. Shire. Amy Crouch is our supervising producer. Sean Birch is our executive producer. Amanda Allen is our intern. This podcast is produced with support from PRX and is made possible in part by a grant from the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, as well as listener contributions to the ETV Endowment of South Carolina. For the South Carolina Lede, I'm Gavin Jackson. Be well, South Carolina. Hey, didn't read as a child. I was not a good reader. They said he can't read.
Fox and Socks. Classic Fox and Socks.